Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood.
What?
Londa Sherwood Austin, welcome back. I don't know, sometimes you just make me laugh how you say it.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know, like your big announcer voice. You know?
I don't mean to have a big announcer voice.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be me.
Yeah.
Doing it right.
It entertains me.
The Session with Londa and David is a business podcast that focuses on the three things that we're most involved with in our business. Londa, what are those?
David, the truth is we focus on whatever we want to.
That's
we
true.
always end up talking about retail sales, restaurants, and real estate, of course, because that is our primary thing that we do. But we talk about mindset a lot. We talk about, gosh, if you're in sales, this is a great podcast to listen to. But also if you just want to be inspired in your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all about...
You never know. It's a mixed bag over here.
It's all about doing what you love in life. And you can bring that in, Ada. Our creative director, Ada, bringing in
Look
our
at
coffee.
that.
Yay.
Special guest appearance.
Thank you,
Special
Ada
guest
Grace.
appearance.
Okay, so last week we did a really fun episode, and it was our gratitude edition of the Session with Londa and David. It's something we now do yearly. We don't necessarily need to do it at the end of the year. We happen.
It was such a good reminder for me,
year.
though, because it really got me refocused on gratitude,
Right.
and I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you.
I got to tell you, the gratitude episode always makes me feel really, really good because it's a forced instance where I'm thinking about, on purpose, the things that have gone right in my life.
Yeah.
And because this is the first edition or the first episode of The Session with Londa and David in the year 2025, we're going to kind of look back at the successes and the things that weren't as good in 2024. This is kind of our 2024 recap, as it were.
And this is the thing. We're nothing if not authentic here.
Right.
So if you see a lot of people in sales, a lot of people in our industry, real estate and lending, that maybe post their recaps of the year, or they share their brags.
Right.
And I think you should. I definitely think, in fact, I, on my social media, Facebook specifically, asked people, to tell me your biggest brag about your biggest accomplishment in 2024. And it was quite inspiring. There's hundreds of comments on there, and I loved reading all of them, and I love to celebrate with people. We also, though, are sensitive to the fact that not everybody had the best year. In fact, we talked to so many realtors specifically who've been long time in the industry who said, man, 2024 was my worst year ever.
Yeah.
So we're just going to share about our year, and I don't know how deep we're going to get into things, but here we go.
Okay. So one thing you said when you were previewing this episode last week, you said, it wasn't our best year.
It wasn't.
And I said...
It wasn't our worst year.
And I said, it was an awesome year. What are you talking about? And the reason I said that is not because it was the most profitable year we've ever had, because by all means it
Certainly
was
not
the most profitable year we've ever had. However, it was a foundational year, and it helped build the foundation for what is to come. And let me talk about that a little bit. We are a real estate company with a mortgage arm, and our job is to professionally solve people's problems. Often it's housing problems.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's managerial problems in their businesses, because we consult as well. What we did in 2024 was we ventured into a few new pathways. For instance, we moved back to the Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
And we did that just before 2024. But first year back, 2024,
Yep.
I got focused more on lending, because for the few years that we were away, I did a radio show.
Yeah.
I did all kinds of things that were not lending while still keeping my feet in it,
Yeah.
I
I like to say we kept our lending and real estate on life support.
Right.
While we went and played and experimented and traveled for 3 years, coming back into this community, just finishing up our first year back in the community, being refocused again on our real estate and our lending. That's what 2024 was for us.
Right. So it was foundational. So we got back into full-time real estate and lending, which has created several new relationships. And when I say several, more than 20, less than 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we helped at least 25 to 30 families either buy, sell, or get a loan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or I helped on the sidelines of it because I coached several realtors in 2024.
Absolutely. And in that, you can add another 25 to 30 families.
I don't know.
I think you probably could, because if all of the families of the people you coached count.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was a spectacular year. I formed some good strategic alliances with Red Mountain Mortgage, for one. Laura Fricky and the team at Red Mountain Mortgage have been great for me to get back into the industry with somebody who was a believer in what we were doing, which is a hybrid real estate and lending business.
Sure.
And so that was great. We formed strategic alliances with national lenders like United Wholesale Mortgage, who has been a really good partner to me over the last 12 months. And we forged some really strong relationships within the real estate community in the Tri-Cities that we didn't have before.
Right.
So I don't know what the indicators are that help you decide whether or not the year was a success.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, right? Because you and I, we look at things differently, right?
Sure.
I'm a results person. I look at the bottom line, I look at the numbers, and I go, and you know, I put it on a chart.
Sure.
And I say, okay, well, this was this year, and this was this year. And so that's what I look at. I tend to look at, right?
Sure, yeah.
So for me, the bottom line was not my best year. It was also not my worst year.
Are you talking total dollar volume?
Yeah, I'm talking like number of transactions, volume done, and my paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's, for me, those are the things that I kind of measure the success. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, what I was going to say is I did say that. Not my best year, not my worst year. Close, but not my worst year. But having you and your perspective has been very helpful to temper my linear thinking about what results are.
I got
right?
you.
And the other thing is, I feel like it was such a successful year because we were welcomed back into this community and we did business, which is amazing.
Yes.
After being gone for 3 years. And it kind of is out of sight, out of mind, because I know some people who moved in this last year out of Tri-Cities, and just one today who came across my social media. I haven't seen her in probably 9 months, and oh yeah, I forgot about her. And that's exactly what happened. So to be able to come back, reintegrate into the real estate community, the lending community, and to reconnect with a lot of our past clients and customers, and reestablish relationships with our friends and our family and different things like that has been, if you look at it in those measurements,
Sure,
one of the most successful years of my career. Also, the fact that I spent 9 months of 2024 coaching realtors, other realtors, and then in September, the end of August, 1st of September, pulled the plug on that and refocused on our business,
right.
This team right here in this room. So that was a huge change for me as well. I finally, after a few years, listened to my business coach who had been saying, you got to stop doing that. Just focus on your thing. Anyway, finally did that. So, and we're seeing the result of that is we're really ramping up for probably a much busier 2025.
Oh, absolutely. We have a new development coming out of the ground in Grandview right now. That's going to be 62 houses.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's going to be a big, big deal.
And that's part of your reconnecting with relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This
is a
I
20-year
have
relationship.
A 20-year relationship, and a developer buddy who has been a friend of me and my family for 20 years, and now we're getting serious and we're making some money together, and that's exciting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So while we're being vague about numbers, we're doing it on purpose because what's it really matter?
Right.
Like who says what's successful and what isn't? We make our own decision about what's successful and what isn't. And, if year over year we didn't sell more or close more transactions, is that the measure of success, or is it the fact that every single person we got under contract, we closed?
Right.
100%.
Right.
And let me tell you,
and not 100% of them closed on the property that they started with, but they did close.
Right.
That's the magic. It's not whether or not the houses all moved. It's how did we help the families?
That's right.
Do you see what I mean?
That's right. And we helped. So as far in terms of numbers, the number of contract to actual close was 100%. And I'm really proud of that because one of the things I pride myself in is I get deals across the finish line.
That's exactly right.
And we just recently had one that was trying to fall apart and it was spiraling all over the place. And I said to my co-op agent, I said, listen, focus up. Because what I do is get deals across the finish line.
Right.
So let's figure out how to get this done. And we did. And so that was great. Another number I'm really, really proud of is the number of negotiations that we won. And that also was 100%.
Well, and let me tell you something. That's part of your secret sauce, right? You negotiate, I would say, better than anybody else that I've ever worked with. And I'm a closer. You know what I mean? But you can handle things that people don't even see coming because of how you like to study the contracts and know the backside of the deal. That's straight magic.
Thank you.
That is straight magic. So there's no question that if we had less soft skills, we would not have had as successful a year as we had.
Yeah.
Because they weren't all easy. We had a couple deals in a row mid-year that everything that could go wrong in a deal did go wrong. The only thing that didn't go wrong was the lending piece because the lender is awesome.
Yeah. You're right about that. Yeah, we had several, I think 3 or 4 right in a row that it just went all kinds of sideways.
Right.
But again, I get them across the finish line. I get to the closing table. That's what I do. And we did it. We did it. And that doesn't mean, we're forcing people to buy houses they don't want to buy. No, sometimes it meant we had to terminate here and go find a different house.
That's exactly right.
It
and there's nothing wrong with
because it wasn't right in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I just talked to someone over the weekend who said, we made an offer on a house, and then I called our realtor back and said, "Oh, hey, did we ask for closing costs because we want to?" And the realtor said, "Oh, sorry, no, we didn't. We didn't go over that." The realtor matters, and the details when it comes to the contract absolutely matter.
Oh, sure they do.
And the fact that happened, we didn't go over it. My clients go over every part of the contract with me.
Right.
I don't understand missing something, especially something as important as closing costs, which would keep money in my client's pocket.
Right.
So it does matter. And I am really proud of the fact that, we make such a good team. I'm all the details and the negotiation and the contract and I like to play hardball and all that kind of thing. And you're a fun uncle, we often say,
sure.
and you get invited to the barbecues and the baby showers, and you really connect with people on a very deep emotional level. And so I think it makes a great team.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And for me, the success metrics that I look at are how much quality time did I get to spend with the people I love every day.
See, there you go.
And I have engineered my life to spend 98% of my time with the people I love. And in this year, we hired our wonderful daughter, Ada, to be our creative director and to help on the backside of our transactions.
Which is part of our building that foundation
That's
for
exactly
growth.
right.
You know, we didn't do that when we had loads of cash laying around and
right.
could easily afford it.
Hey, when I was taking realtors out for drinks twice a day, separate realtors out for drinks, and one realtor out for lunch every single day,
Wow.
that was a different business model. And I was spending about 40% of my time with the people I love the most, not 98% of my time.
Wow.
So for me, the success is not the overall numbers, because I've done $26 million in a year gross revenue, and
Which is a lot, in case you didn't know.
and not been fulfilled.
Love that.
Do you see what I mean?
I do.
So for me, it's more about the quality of my life and the quality of the experience for my customers and clients than it is total dollar volume and number of transactions.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I don't want to do all the deals, because I do want to do all the deals,
Yeah.
but I don't want
You
to
want
do
them to
all
mean
the deals
something.
to the detriment of relationships.
Right.
And that's what's important for me personally.
And I think along that same line, for me, I won't disturb my peace.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean things don't disturb my peace, because they do. Because while we were talking about the number of fill in the blank and sharing this end of year wrap, you know, the real estate wrap, we came up with some funny ones, like the number of times that I had to lay down in the grass to regulate my nervous system.
Right.
Right.
And that happens.
And that did happen
Yeah.
3 different times this year.
It's going to be way better now that we're not right by the river with
Yeah.
people walking through our backyard every day, all day.
One was at 11 p.m. though, so nobody was out
Right.
there. But yeah, that happens. Like, it does get stressful, and one of the reasons it gets stressful is because, you know, I don't let my client have the stress. I absorb it and I solve the problem. Then I tell them, you know, they don't get involved unless I absolutely need them to, you know. But also, I'm emotionally attached to everything, which I don't want to be, but I am. And so sometimes I get, you know, super spun up and that kind of thing. But I think that overall in my business, protecting my peace has become a really important part of the journey for me.
Sure.
And I think it goes hand in hand with what you're saying about, you know, I don't want to do, you know, X million dollars of deals if it means I can't spend time with the people that I love.
Right.
And I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to do X number if it means that I burn myself out, that I lose my I don't know, center of peace, that I kind of lose my way, my true north, that kind of thing. And so, and that's, I think, why I stopped coaching realtors this year, because it was, I saw it coming. I saw the burnout coming again. And stepping away from that was really, really difficult because I love doing it.
Yes.
But
It's a low margin project.
well,
The amount of time it takes to chase pennies is way too great.
and I would argue that a bit, because it kind of trivializes what I did, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But what you did was you decided you wanted to spend less time away in other people's business than you do in your own business here.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by that,
Yeah.
because you're not making the kind of money coaching someone that you can make doing it.
Oh, For sure.
Does that make sense?
For sure.
And it was hard for you because you love that. You love developing people.
Yeah.
And so my response to you is develop your team.
Yeah.
Develop your people.
And that's what we finally came to, and in doing so, I was in a, leadership position in my company and the trainer and the coach and all that. And so in order to effectively step down from that, we also left that company. And the reason, and it doesn't matter as a realtor, I really believe it really doesn't matter what company you're with as long as they've got the resources you need to do your business.
And I've said that for the last 21 years in lending.
But in order for that company to be successful, I needed to step away so that someone else could step into the leadership and be, respected and seen as that. And it's hard to do that if you remain in an organization.
Right.
And so stepping away from that, getting into a different company where we can just be our own kind of entity within the place. No stress, no drama. It's been great.
The session with Londa
really
and
good
David
move.
is brought to you by Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions. It's our own thing. It's what we do. Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions helps you make all the right moves. If you want to make all the right moves today, you can reach out to Londa at Londa@SherwoodAustin.com. That's Londa@SherwoodAustin.com. The strongest negotiator you could have working for you in real estate is Londa Sherwood Austin. Londa@SherwoodAustin.com. If you want someone who's going to bring fun to your home or business commercial real estate search, you need to reach out to David at SherwoodAustin.com. That's David at SherwoodAustin.com. Again, over 21 years of helping people make all the right moves in the Tri-Cities is Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Home Coffee. Home Coffee, it's on the house.
There isn't any left. And during that whole thing, I picked up the coffee cup. I looked at it. It's empty. I showed it to you. I showed it to the camera. You dirty, dirty dog. The coffee that Ada brought into us, you drank all of it.
You didn't say save the last sip for me. I normally do. But what you did say was, ugh, when you took a sip of it.
That's true.
So I thought you didn't want it.
Okay, yeah, good point. I forget, though. My brain forgets.
That's on me.
Yeah, that we did that.
So back into the show. There were other things you wanted to talk about, other metrics that you wanted to look at in the year-end review.
Yeah, just that we did help a few families relocate.
Sure.
Into the Tri-City area. And I always get really excited about that because let me just tell you this. If you relocate to Tri-Cities and you use us as your real estate team to purchase a home, you are going to know all about Tri-Cities within just a few weeks of getting settled because we send a welcome pack that has all kinds of information from the Tri-City Visitor and Convention Bureau to you. And then we, based on your interests, send you just about once a week or so, something in the mail or something by email that is, oh, hey, I ran across this. I found this for you. Like we had somebody who was super into golf.
Right.
And so I got all the, the brochures on all the golf courses and sent it off to them. And then, different things like that. So I love welcoming people into our community and teaching them all about the place that I love to call home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every single person that has relocated here that we've helped over the last 12 months is thriving in the community.
Yeah.
I can't think of one person who said, you know what, I really wish I didn't move there. Let's get this thing sold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's refreshing, I think.
Mm-hmm. We had a few moves in our own family this year.
That's right.
So 2024, our oldest daughter, Danielle, and her family, those dirty dogs, moved away from Tri-Cities to Wisconsin.
That's right.
Now, I would love to be mad about that, but central Wisconsin, if you've never been, is gorgeous.
It is.
Absolutely beautiful. And so we did go and visit them a few months after they moved. And I can't wait to go back. It's just such a great place. So we had that move in our family. We had, another move that's undisclosed because of legal stuff. Anyway, if you're from this area, you already know that our oldest son, had some stuff, some
I don't think we can talk about that really,
yeah.
but he moved.
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
moral of the story.
Undisclosed location. And then we moved.
Yeah.
The last week of 2024, we moved from our little condo by the river, which was such a great location for us to come back to. Being right on the river was very healing for me. You know, we walked that river path. We spent all summer on our paddle boards.
Right.
It was a great location because it's quick to get anywhere in Tri-Cities. However, it was, really small. And while it was right on the river path, which is great, it was right on the river path, which is also not great because all of the community is right in your backyard. So last week of the year, we moved into a house with its own yard and a fence and space and back to West Richland.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we're rekindling relationships in West Richland that
Loving it.
Weren't able to enjoy because we weren't there.
Yeah.
So that's back. And I got to tell you, I'm super excited about the outlook for 2025.
I am too. And if you're not, then I would encourage you to listen to last week's episode on gratitude.
That's right.
And that might help. And if you are excited about 2025 and the things to come, I hope that you share it with us and share it with the people that, in your corner. We're always rooting for everyone's success.
Okay. A lot of people are talking about business planning and what they're going to do in 2025. Sure. What is the most important thing that you'd like to accomplish in 2025, business-wise?
Yeah. So consistency is the thing that I know brings success. Mm-hmm. So just continuing to be more and more systematic in the back end of our business is what's very important to me because I know that brings business. Right. The fortune is in the follow-up, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Some new skills that I'm learning and have been in the last couple of months and I want to continue to grow in is we're now getting Zillow leads. Right. Which is a whole new ballgame I've never ever gotten purchased leads in my whole life.
Sure. And you've fought against it.
Yeah.
Actively.
Yes. But we're doing it and really having a good time learning it and learning, all the different ways to do that. So I want to continue to learn more about that.
Okay.
And I would say for me, also there's going to be a huge learning curve on the development.
Sure.
And that's enough. That's enough for me.
And for me, in 2025, what I really want to do is help that development get off the ground quickly, and it will, and then help our other development that we have coming out of the ground in Burbank, which is Walla Walla County, so that's a little slower moving, help that jump out of the ground. So that is what I'm focused on going into 2025. Also, capturing 100% of those Zillow leads for the lending side of our business makes those leads much more profitable. Yeah. Because what I found in that kind of marketing scenario is those people who are looking online for housing are not relationally dialed in yet.
Right.
So if they're pre-approved with someone they do not know and are not feeling relational with. And so we've been able to, and this is a statistic that I'm also proud of, we've been able to convert those into loans for the loan side of the business in 100% of the transactions that we've done through Zillow. 100%.
Yeah. And the other thing about the Zillow leads that's been really exciting for me is we've met some really fascinating people.
Well, and that's the magic.
So fun.
And it's a small world because some of the people that we've met we should have already known and been in sync with. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And that is something that we wouldn't have been able to look into otherwise.
Right.
Because if you're not in sync with somebody, you're not in sync with them.
Right.
So this is just another opportunity for us to grow our sphere relationally, even though it's from new school methods, not old school methods. And I think that's super exciting. Yeah. So anybody who's going to tell you, I don't believe in the lead generation stuff, they're not fully exploring their opportunities is what I would say to that.
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it more expensive than organic transactions? Certainly.
Yeah.
But you know what it turns into? Future organic transactions.
Yeah, and it's developing a skill set. I guess I haven't never purchased leads, but never in real estate. Right. So, I mean, I dialed for dollars, cold calling before real estate and that was rough. That was, buying cold leads and you dial for dollars and it's.
Well, and here's the thing about that. That made you uniquely qualified to be able to handle this kind of lead generation because you already had the training, the scripting for cold calling and connecting to people that you've never met before on the phone has upped your conversion, I would say, much more quickly than your standard person doing these leads, because a lot of the people that are doing that don't have the skill set you have. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And my conversion numbers are good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're, for me, I look at them and I'm pleased with the
well, right. And they're way, way, way ahead of Zillow's national average.
Sure.
Way ahead. And that's because you have a skill set from cold calling people with an auto dialer about mattresses or vacations or whatever product you were selling. You know what I mean?
Vacation packages.
Yeah. So you...
Goddamn, that was hard. That was rough.
You have done it. So I think, to make a long story short, with our year-end review, 2024 was a spectacular launch pad for the new business, Sherwood Austin Real Estate Solutions. And it's going to be the launch pad for an even bigger thing to come in 2025.
It had some really high highs, and I don't want to gloss over the fact that it had some really devastating lows as well. So, we get it. Life is real, right? That you have great things and you have, a shit sandwich every once in a while. But I think we came through it great. Every one of those sandwiches taught me a really good lesson and helped me let go a little bit more.
And the weird thing is, I don't remember any of the low lows.
Yeah, it's because you didn't have any. I was the one having emotional breakdowns.
I see what you're saying. This is not a transactional conversation about low lows. This isn't this is emotional stuff that you went through over the course of the year.
Yeah, and some of them connected to transactions, but yeah, I think all in all, a great year.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
All in all, a great year. And the number one thing that I am proudest of from 2024 is I spent a heck of a lot more time with you, and I spent a heck of a lot more time with the extended family, the bonus kids that have come into my life in the last 5 years. I've gotten into disc golf, which is awesome fun for me.
Yeah.
I did pull my hamstring playing racquetball, but I'm getting back into racquetball, just not as aggressively as I had been playing in the past.
Yep.
But disc golf has been great, by the way.
Yeah.
If you listen to this program and you're not into disc golf yet, call me and I will take you, because I love preaching the gospel of disc golf.
One nation under par.
That's exactly right. One nation under par. For Londa, Joanne, Sherwood, Austin, my name is David Austin, and this has been another edition of The Session with Londa and David. We will be right back here again next week, and we want to hear from you. What was your biggest success?